wants to ask. Kind of got you off guard.
I saw somewhere that is it the green ribbon that you wear? Like I've seen a poster somewhere that said if you support organ.
Green ribbon is right.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right. And you know, it hasn't gotten that much of a national attention, but we're trying to get the same kind of attention that AIDS has with their ribbons. You know, so, and this is what's been lacking for a while. Like we just don't have that exposure for it, so and that's what we're trying to do. No other questions?
Well, what about on the back of the driver's license when they had that checks off? Is that something that if you have that, is that kind of legally, if they find that on you, is that something that if your parents said no or family said no, do they still say, well, it says it on the license, or is that something that they can hold?
Well, the reason for the donor card or license is to have something signed and to keep on your person, in your purse, wallet, or what have you. And it is not legal binding, though. The decision has, regardless of of having that and expressing the wish to your family that that's what you would want, the family still has to be approached at the final at that moment. And I just from talking to hundreds of families that were approached and vetoed the decision, you can never prepare a family for that moment. No matter how much you'll say you're for it, at that moment when you're asked, you're in shock and you're not in the right state of mind. So that's another question that arises with this. There's a lot of people that really want to make that wish. It's a question of basic human rights and principles at this stage. Why should we, as individuals, be deprived of carrying a wish out that we want, to be carried out? And it's not the family's fault. It's because of the system that we're using right now. So it's there's two things that fall in that. It's not only the opportunity for 10 lives to be saved, but it's also a question of individuals' rights and freedoms to be honored. There's probably a lot of people right now that have passed away that would be turning over in their graves wanting to have donated their organs to save people's lives and didn't because of the system that we have. So.
Do you have any suggestions, or have you seen anything on different campuses that they've used to raise awareness? Like, do you have any ideas what we can do on this campus?
I think you have, I'm not sure if you have a kidney foundation group here, but I think there might be a chapter here, or you can get some things from Winnipeg. I know if you had donor cards and maybe find a day where you can call it Organ Awareness Day or something and have some donor cards there, and have a few people just man the booth sort of thing and have people pass by and then talk to people about it. Maybe you can, I know that there's some families in Brandon that have experienced either losing a loved one on the waiting list, or there's recipients in this city, and or donor families, or any that might be able to give a hand. But certainly doing something like that will show the community and that the university is certainly behind the supporting organ donation. So. No other questions? Nobody wants to know how I feel after walking.
Aren't you cold?
Yeah, actually, my nose almost fell off when I walked through Selkirk. What was it, minus 55?
He almost died when he walked to Selkirk. Like, it was ridiculous. He couldn't move his arms. Like, I can't believe he walked that whole way. It was crazy.
Yeah, there's a bit of insanity involved with this.
When do you expect to hit the West Coast?
We're hitting Sparwood on April 16th, and we'll be in Victoria on July 27th. And at that point, we're going to hope to have the military there waiting with a plane, because we're making 2 trips, one to Rome, where we're hoping to get an audience with the Pope, and then to London to get an audience with the Queen, and then the plane will drop us off at St. John's, Newfoundland, and from St. John's, I started in Toronto on June 20th, and then from St. John's, Newfoundland, I'm going to walk back to Toronto, and we'll be finished January 16th, 2002. So it's become like a lifestyle out here. It's exciting though, because there's a lot of hard work, but it's also exciting. You meet a lot of people, get to stay at some cool hotels, eat at some good restaurants, but it's constantly begging though. We have to keep asking for these things because we're working with a zero budget right now. So the challenge is just surviving too. But it's been neat. Good to see the whole country. Right?
Yeah, it's awesome.
Come on, here's
The camera, I forgot about the camera.
Short time.
It's not that bad. It's nice.
I'm gonna give you a check for $50. I hope that helps you guys out.
Oh, it should.
I can certainly, actually, a personal note for me is that I can certainly appreciate what you're doing because my cousin Shannon, though she passed away in